Where would the messenger pigeon Ringo released before his death fly to? In an office building in Kansas City, the president was holding a meeting. Ringo's pigeon still hadn't returned. Had something gone wrong? The president had already ordered the race organizers to keep Johnny Joestar and Gyro Zeppeli under constant surveillance. But Stephen Steele kept reporting the same thing. He had lost track of them. The president believed it was deliberate. Since the third stage began, Steele's attitude had clearly changed. Media, labor groups, volunteers, all of them had been drawn in by him. If Steele were eliminated now, the race would fall into chaos. The priority was clear: find the corpse first. Once Steele lost his value, killing him could wait. According to the map left by Joseph of Arimathea, the corpse part hidden in Kansas City was the spine. The spine is the center of the human body, the most important part of the saint's corpse. So the president summoned all of his stand users. That saint's spine, he was determined to take it. In the building across the street, Lucy Steele was in the middle of a math lesson. She kept staring out the window. The teacher finally snapped. "You asked me to tutor you, Mrs. Steele, yet you haven't listened at all. You've been staring outside the entire time. The Steele ball run race is keeping me busy too. I don't have time for this." Lucy stood up and erased the blackboard. Then she asked, "The lip-reading lessons I requested, you didn't tell anyone about them, did you?" When he froze, she asked again, "You didn't tell anyone, right?" After he confirmed it, Lucy spoke calmly. "I quit. These problems are too hard. I don't understand them. Here's your pay. You can leave." The moment the teacher left, Lucy collapsed to the floor, trembling. She broke down in tears. It was fear. She had been terrified the entire time. But with the teacher there, she had no choice but to pretend she was calm. From the president's earlier conversation, she had read part of it through lip reading. Johnny Joestar, Gyro Zeppeli, stand users, the saint's corpse, the spine, and the words, "Kill Steele once he's no longer useful." What should she do? Suddenly, two white pigeons flew toward the opposite building. Lucy raised her binoculars. One pigeon carried a message tube on its leg. The president had just said Ringo's pigeon hadn't returned. This had to be the one. Lucy quickly got dressed and crossed the street. As Mrs. Steele, she was a woman of status. The office was restricted, but once she said she was delivering food to her husband, the guards let her pass. After handing over the lunchbox, Lucy slipped upstairs unnoticed. She reached the pigeon coop on the rooftop. She wanted to protect her husband, and she needed to know what secret was hidden inside the letter the president cared about so deeply. Just as she pulled out the messenger pigeon, someone arrived downstairs. Lucy hurriedly fixed the broken lock and hid beneath the coop. The person who had arrived was none other than the President of the United States. Funny Valentine. The president came to the rooftop to check whether the messenger pigeon sent by Ringo Rodigan had returned. A pigeon can fly over 200 kilometers a day. It should have arrived already, but was there still any sign of it? Faced with the president's questioning, the aide had no answer. Meanwhile, Lucy, hiding beneath the coop, opened the secret letter. Inside was exactly what she expected: the location of the next saint's corpse part. Suddenly, the aide sensed something was wrong. There was an extra pigeon inside the coop. Ringo had two messenger pigeons. The one carrying the letter hadn't returned, yet the other was already here. Looking closer, the lock on the coop had been forced open, and at the entrance, there were footprints from at least two pigeons. All the clues led to one conclusion: the messenger pigeon carrying the secret letter had been stolen after it arrived. At that moment, the pigeon in Lucy's hands suddenly flapped and a single feather drifted out from beneath the coop. "Someone's down there." The president leaned forward and reached his right hand toward the white curtain. This was bad. If she was exposed now, she wouldn't survive. Lucy's body tensed up completely. Her heart was pounding in her throat. Just as she was about to be discovered, the pigeon suddenly burst out from beneath the coop. At a glance, the president saw the capsule tied to the pigeon's leg. He gave the order immediately, and the aide jumped straight off the building. What happened next was shocking. He didn't fall. Instead, he stepped on raindrops and stopped in midair. The droplets he stepped on froze in place. Using this ability, he began running through the air as a white mask gradually formed over his face. Just as he was about to catch the pigeon, his face began to break apart, separating from his body and flying off, attached to the mask. From several meters away, he bit the messenger pigeon to death. Seeing this, the president finally relaxed. A moment later, he remembered to check beneath the pigeon coop. He pulled the white cloth aside, but there was no one there. While the two of them were focused on the pigeon, Lucy had already slipped quietly back into the building. At that same moment, the aide realized the capsule was empty. And, beneath the coop, the president found the capsule lid. It was clear that someone had been hiding there. The secret letter was already gone. As for who it was, the president couldn't think of anyone, so he ordered the entire building sealed. If anyone suspicious was seen, the guards were allowed to shoot on sight. Lucy hid at the corner of the stairwell, shaking. She wanted to rush downstairs and escape, but the moment she reached the stairs, more than a dozen guards flooded up from below. With nowhere left to go, Lucy slipped into an empty room. She was already crying uncontrollably. Even she didn't know why she had come here to steal from the president. If she were caught, her husband, Stephen Steele, would take full responsibility. Both of them would die. Upstairs, the president followed the trail of water along the stairs. According to his aide, Blackmore, the thief was probably not a stand user. Otherwise, the thief would have escaped already using a stand ability. He wouldn't be hiding under the pigeon coop, waiting to be found. From the infiltration route alone, the culprit was likely an insider. Now, all they had to do was search room by room along the water trail. The thief had no way out. Blackmore flew outside the building, hovering in mid-air to keep watch. Inside the room, Lucy refused to wait for capture. The floor wasn't very high. She planned to climb down the outer wall, but the moment she peeked out, she ran straight into Blackmore. She pulled back instantly before her face could be seen. At the same time, the guards reached her door. Seeing it locked, one guard drew his gun, ready to force it open. A gunshot rang out. The lock shattered. Outside the window, Blackmore broke in at the same time. Lucy rushed into the bathroom, making her final stand. There was no way out. Just as fear and despair took over, a rope appeared in front of her. It was lowered from the ventilation duct. The person above was Mountain Tim. The moment Lucy entered the room, she had already called him. As a devoted follower, when she was in danger, he came immediately. Lucy grabbed the rope. Her body was drawn into the rope by his stand ability. Gunshots rang out again. The guards forced their way in, but the room was completely empty. With Mountain Tim's help, Lucy escaped right under the president's nose.